I do. Different drug got me feeling different every time. I'm whipping the new spider came with a van. Chrome bars, leather, no damage. Got a white bitch chopping the fat. You know I'ma keep doing me. You know my whole heart in it. Some niggas finna die today. Cause we finna ride today. I hop on the net and I buy me a murder. Can't be detected cause I'm on that big me in. I'm following these niggas like ESPN. I'm Duval win. That babe by the 100. And hit it, she couldn't stop coming. Why she just couldn't stop coming. Got no job for lies. My mouth be constantly rapping. Follow these niggas. Shout it for fuck up one of my guys. Bet him a letter. I've been from the bottom. I'm married to spend it. She get to talking. They don't understand it. All of the pills on the heart of the planet. Got right behind it. And told her no panic. Gave her my mistake. She gave me a penny. I guess she really ain't feeling my music. I told my brother, don't get me right. Get the kilos important. The feel of the bullshit. He told me to give half of the shit. We should go through all the traffic and shit. I'm the child ain't got me extravagant look. Stay on the schedule. I need an assistant. Bought a new medicine. I need an assistant. Found a new club with a vast collection. I put this shit in my nerve system. I'm feeling it right away. That's all I do. I do.
What's going on, guys? We're back again for another streaming session. Y'all can hear me good. I got the mic crispy. Everything good. It's Sunday. And look at that huge gap down for M&Q and ES, but we're already eating the gap back up. Now, this is pretty interesting where we gap down. We really just gapped down back to those lows, kind of where we, gapped up this past week from Tuesday into Wednesday with ceasefire news. And where we kind of fell down to was really that area of holding. So, like, again, still a huge bull flag here that they're still kind of holding there. But again, we held those lows. You can see where we're at right now. We held those lows. That's where I was looking right now to see if, where we're going to hold. And we held that, and they're pushing it back up. They're eating the gap up. So looks like, some calls on some upside on M&Q and ES are working. So shout out to you guys that are catching that right now. Let's get at least 40 people in here, and we will start the session here. I'm going to go over SPY QQ game plans. I'm going to go over some of the high conviction plays I'm watching, some of the setups I'm looking for, and then, talk a little bit more on, what to expect this week. But, yeah, look at that. We're still kind of pushing out here. I had a fantastic this past week. No misses. I just posted my P&L for the week again. And I know y'all have been seeing it, but King of the Open, baby, I'm posting my P&L. My daily P&L every morning, like first 30 minutes, first hour. We're making, those big plays and cashing them, and it was awesome. Friday was awesome. So let me go over Friday's action, right? My trades on Friday, I traded live, kind of my thoughts. And then of course, game plans for SPY QQ and any setups that we're seeing here. Again, I'm seeing some really good setups, and I need you guys to pay attention. Please pay attention to me. Please pay attention to some of these levels, because I promise you, if you listen, you're going to bank heavily. So we will get into that. Let's get at least 40 people in here. 37 right now. Let me see. Let me refresh. But yeah, I mean, I'm confident. Really good week this past week. Really good past 40 days, 50 days. I've been on fire. I'm up over like 1,000% in the past like 30 days. And it's been really good. I trade with 10K. I day trade with 10K. And so you can kind of do the math on that right there. So where we're up. All right. Let's see. All right. 53, 50. All right. So we're getting started. Before we get started real quick, if you're watching and tuned in right now, get settled, grab your favorite drink, retweet the stream, show some love. Shout out to, I'm streaming right now to X and YouTube. That's it. All right. So retweet the stream and let's get it going. All right. Over 50 people here. Let's do it. So like I said, we're seeing that we did gap down for, futures here straight into kind of those lows during the week after that ceasefire, gap up. Again, if we look at the daily here, you can see that all that move is still valid to come right back down. Sure, we just created a gap overnight here for the move right back up, and we didn't fail those lows. So likely if we hold this into kind of open tomorrow for SPY and QQ, we're going to be in a very interesting spot. So looking at SPY and QQ here, and I'm going to tell you this right off the bat. I do not want any puts on SPY or QQQ. I am not touching any puts on SPY or QQ until Q loses 601.94, right? I want to see us lose that demand right there. And if we lose that, then we can come all the way back down to 591, 590. Why is that? Well, you can see right here where I have it highlighted on that same candle That was the ceasefire after hours, push. We know that that's a huge daily gap, right? Huge daily gap. You can see it right there. And that's why I highlighted it from, 601 area all the way down back to 590, because that's literally, what's rest of the gap that's still open. And why did I even arrive at that? Well, easy. When you have the recap zones, you always know where you're at. First things first is kind of just looking at, that Wednesday, right? Where did we kind of hold and why did we hold there? Well, if you don't have levels, you can at least kind of keep a proxy of, level 600 for Q is a very important level. We held above that. I thought we would come down and retest it, but we didn't. We actually held at that 602, 601 demand. Notice how we perfectly held that. My recap demand held it. And then bounced away from it again. That Thursday we opened up above it and then blasted out of it. This is how we banked heavily on Thursday, knowing that SPY QQ opened up above those zones held and they were going to go higher. I called it out a downtrend breakout on that day. We were too busy playing Amazon Thursday and Friday for the massive move. Shout out to RioCap AI. It caught swing trades on calls on SPY QQ, Amazon, and IWM. Those Thursdays and Fridays, beautiful. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, awesome. Anyways, I'm not looking for downside unless we, again, sweep under 601.94, and then we can move all the way down to 591, 590. That's when I know puts will work. I'm not going to be touching it unless we do. Right now, after hours, we are sitting at 606. So we are right here in this area. We have not really pulled down that much. We pulled down maybe to Thursday's kind of downtrend breakout area where we pushed back up. So we're literally just back in this area right here. We have not broken down significantly yet. We're not under that 601.94. So what I'm looking for is if we do open up in this area and we hold, we're just going to likely push right back up and eat the gap right back up to Friday's close. That's what I'm going to be looking for. So if you trade options, if you trade futures, you want to be looking for that gap fill right back up. If we open up and do not, and I repeat, do not cross under 601.94 for QQQ right here. If we don't get that. Now, if we do, then I'm slamming puts all day and night for sure. For sure, I'm taking that move if we do break that 601.94, and I'm jamming or I'm aiming for 591, 590. SPY, let's take a look at that. SPY, same thing. SPY is at 674.24. So we're really about like right here in this area. So we have not broke those lows yet. For SPY seems a little bit kind of it doesn't have much room to play with, right? I would say 671 would be that level to break under. And that's because we tagged it. We almost tagged it. We tagged almost to it, but that 671 level right there. We under that. That's going to start eating the daily gap back down to 666, 65. Finish the move to 661. So that's what I'm looking for. Unless, SPY's really doing like a clean zone to zone, I'm really not going to be looking for SPY all that much, especially if it's not as weak as Q or whatever. So I'm looking for weakness. And so that's why I'm going to be turning my attention to some of these other names, right? IWM, this is as clean as it gets for me on IWM. You can see right here, that is the ceasefire gap fill. We get on that daily. So that 259, 258 zone right here is holding. That's that demand that was holding right there. All right. So we're on the hourly here, and I want to see us lose that demand. We lose that demand right there, then we're dropping. And where are we dropping to? Under 258.30, drops all the way back down to 255, 254. That's a solid $3 move on IWM subcontracts. Those are banking. Those are banking. So I'm going to be looking to slam that if we can get that. And so I'm going to be watching that as well. This is a clean move. Also, another very clean move I'm watching is Microsoft. Now, Microsoft is down only $3 here. It's at the 367 in this kind of area. It's not quite there yet, but it has this gap fill from 363 all the way to 358. Eventually, if we lose that 366, 367, and kind of start trickling down, right when we cross under that 363, I think we're all right to go for, those puts for a ride down to 357, 358 right there. Again, that's a guaranteed win right there. I will definitely be calling that out, taking that trade and alerting it to the members as well, as we will be banking on that for sure. For sure. No doubt about that. Next thing, looking around. So we banked heavily on Amazon. I mean, this was as crazy as it gets. We caught it at 223, and we thought we were late to the party because it got that rip up right from the ceasefire, and then it kind of just rejected, came down. RioCap AI alerted the swings, and then the next day, it alerted the swings right before close going into Wednesday. We saw that it was right back up at that 224, 225. And so it already got to $5, $6, and I was like, damn, did we miss this already? I was like, no, because we still had a major gap to 231. And so I was like, I'm rolling on this for sure. And I'm going weeklies. I'm not going to go monthlies. RealCap AI suggested monthlies. And then, we banked on it Thursday. You can see we just rallied hard. And then, of course, Friday, we continued that move right there. We wanted 240 as the complete targets. That was my last target supply zone right there at 241, 240. One of my RealCap members also shared some levels. And of course, 240 was on the map. So we felt really confident going with it. And so at open Friday, this was the number one pick for us. Amazon at open, we slammed it. I'm trading live. We slammed calls for the move right back up. We went 1 day expirations, no lottos, but again, lottos would have worked heavily. If you want my trades, guys, you know where to find it. WAP.com/RealCapital. I love live trading. I'm going to be live trading, probably the full week this week. Sometimes I don't do it like Thursdays or Fridays. Likely I'm going to be doing it the full week. Top members get every single live session. If you want to not miss out on any single one of my live sessions, become a top member. You'll get access to all of that. If you're a regular member, you do get access to my live trading sessions, but there are only a few out the week. So keep an eye on that. AMD was a monster on Friday. Did any of y'all catch that? Did any of y'all see that? I mean, this went zone to zone here, and I saw this pre-market. I was like, hey, AMD is flagging here. We're outside the flag pre-market. We're rising up here at open, just blasted. I was too busy banking on Amazon. By the time I turned around and looked at AMD, we were already kind of cruising at 245 here. I was like, let me just look at the 250 calls or whatever they were, like something that was like not too far off, like in the money or at the money. They were like at $150. Right when I called them out, I was like, dude, I can't. I can try and enter these, but I feel like I'm already kind of at the end of the move. You guys can definitely go for it. Just be faster. I can't alert this. And I only alert trades that I take. So I was like, let me sit back on this one. Maybe let me coach y'all through it. So if y'all looking for that extra gain, like go for it. And those contracts ran immediately after I said that from 150 to 200 plus. And then from there, ended up hitting that target. 249 was that target for me, 249.45. Hit that and then just kind of cooled off. Again, this showed some very unusual strength here on Friday. And so this is something I'm going to be kind of watching going into possibly, Monday, just in case, right? We see this name go red to green. It is down 3.5. So I'm not going to be kind of staring at too much unless it goes red to green. Again, needs to break above 245 area right here, this blue level, and run back to 250. It's at 241. So it's right back down into this demand right here. So let's kind of see what it does there. Not too bad. Let's look around a little bit and see who's kind of showing some strength and who's not. Tesla is down 2.5, so a little bit of strength there, not too much. Let's look at Apple. Apple down $2, nothing too crazy there. NVIDIA is down 2.5, nothing too crazy. I do like NVIDIA here. NVIDIA, again, was a name that, it blasted out on Friday. I didn't catch this, but RealCap AI caught this. RealCap AI caught AMD. RealCap AI caught Amazon, SPY, QQ. Like it caught them all. I can't catch them all. I caught the ones that definitely paid as well, and I'm happy with that as well. And so that's what I was saying. Like, if you miss my plays, you're definitely going to be able to catch a play with RealCap AI. It's going to find you a play, and it's going to make sure you're green. And if you're feeling like you're late to the party, again, you can catch it and you'll still win. You'll still make that money. So lock in. All right. Shout out to 100 of y'all showing up here. Nice. NVIDIA, again, something I'm going to be watching. But just in case, if this is kind of hitting a major rejection here, I'm still watching. It does have a gap fill below. It tried filling some of it throughout the week, but couldn't quite do it. So, this is still open and still anyone's play. There's a little bit of a daily at the 184. It's not quite there yet. It's at 186. It ends up losing this. It could come right back down to the zone again. I like it just playing zone to zone. It's not too bad. We'll see. I think there's better plays out there for the downside. And I kind of already, I'd say, called them out or whatever. So, we'll see. Google is showing a big, I would say, where's this at? Like, it's a big flag, I would say. Like, really trying to failed there. You can see it did fail there, or we can just drag it. This is interesting. What is that? 313 here overnight at this demand right here. It's showing some unusual strength, but I couldn't quite get to it. RioCap AI did call this as a swing right before close on Tuesday, going into Wednesday. And wow, I was eyeing this right at above 300. I was like, this is a good play on Tuesday. It got above 300 right before close. It rocketed like 305. And then after hours, of course, you see it rocketed. Those calls went so far in the money. It was disgusting. Some from 302 to 322, like the next day, it was disgusting. I mean, I saw that was the move, but I didn't touch it afterward or after, looking at this. It just wasn't fitting my criteria. I wanted to see a break above 321.13. And maybe that's something I'll be kind of watching again, kind of going into this week. So we will see what it actually does here. But, as of right now, I'm not really too interested. I think I do see some better opportunities as well. So we will see kind of what happens there. I'm excited. I'm excited for this week. I'm excited to bank. I'm excited to, go again and just see how it goes. I'm not letting my P&L or anything get to me. It's been nothing but wins and sticking to, my strategy of, catching those explosions that open like this. And that's what I said, guys, give me like 1 hour, first hour of your day, market open. Give me that first hour. I'm going to be able to make y'all some money. And then you can sit back and just do less and for the rest of the day. Like, don't overtrade, don't do anything. There you go. And that's how you're seeing my P&L continuously rip and rip, is because I've been fighting that, keeping that discipline and fighting that urge to, overtrade, midday or end of day or do any of that and give away gains. I make that money in the beginning. I don't care how much I make, and just sit back for the rest of the day. And unless something sees fit, right? We did take some swings throughout the week. Dell, we crushed that, this past, Amazon, we crushed it. But I want to, like I said, it's a swing's going to come whenever it's going to come. I'm not going to force it, but when it does come, I'm going to make sure I'm going to bank on it for sure. So that's why I'm like extra careful when it comes to, those swings and stuff like that. So again, we'll see. We will see about that. Really good setups here. Again, if you can't find anything with that, fine. QQ, they are holding up pretty well, and we haven't broke those lows. So keep those levels in mind about where we break down. And you can see MNQ and ES are still trying to push into that gap higher. Likely, we're going to end up filling that gap by morning, right? Right back to green or right back up here. We'll see. We don't have any major news this week. We have PPI news Tuesday, which is not going to be too crazy. So nothing else after that. So this week, price action should move level to level. So trust your levels. Have your charting done, and again, don't question too much. This week should be very smooth, and don't miss out on this week. Like I said, don't miss out. Any of these plays, like a lot of these plays that we took that I called out that, we banked on, we went over 200, 300, 500%, 600%, 800%, 1,000%. Those Amazons went over 1,000% for sure. Again, these are just, absolutely banger plays. RioCap members are banking with me, and that's all the fun. That's what I like doing right there. So I want to help you guys out. I want y'all to make as much money as y'all can. I want y'all to, be stress-free when it comes to worrying about the trades and stuff. Let me worry about it. Let me kind of lead y'all, and let's just make our money. Let's make our money in bank. That's what I'm talking about. So nothing too crazy here. Yes, red overnight, but nothing to worry about. Like, we're still holding. We haven't broke those lows. Till we break those lows, that's when we're going to be really loading up puts. But right now, you're seeing a lot of people getting, smacked around on puts this past week because they're trying to front run that gap below, which we all see it, that huge daily gap. We all see it. SPY QQ, SPY X. We all see the daily gap here. I get it. But shorting it before we even add it is so stupid. I can't even. That's why they're losing, and that's why the P&L doesn't look like mine, is because I'm down to short. I'm ready to short when we get to the gap, when it's time to short. If not, I am playing calls on the upside and moving up. Like, why are you shorting, days and adding more and more to the short when you're just literally missing the whole move up? And then if you finally get some type of move down, you break even, make a little bit of money, and you're like, hell yeah. That just you just missed out on like 5 days of making money all the way up, and then you could have just slam puts after that and still made that gain. It makes zero sense to me, I think. So, I don't know. Anyways, go check out the RioCap YouTube. Type in RioCap on YouTube. I have a bunch of free videos y'all can start learning and watching today. Again, I go over a lot of good stuff. I go over a lot of, RioCap AI alerts that I just posted a video for, alerts that we see with RioCap AI. I go over a lot of my King of the Open series, right? I post that every single day. And it's been pretty awesome here. So, I'm excited to see kind of what we do, and how we keep moving and grooving. It's been fun. So again, you can get a part of this by, joining the team, wap.com/Rio Capital. You can use code April right now if you want to sign up and right at checkout, right. And use code April, save 50% off. New members, try it out. You can be part of the team and part of the journey, how we continuously keep winning and, building the community, building our portfolios and still winning. So that's the beauty about it. Good setups here. Nothing too crazy as far as like banger setups other than IWM and Microsoft. Those downside setups are nice. SPY QQ, sure. But we're holding, so I don't think we're going to get to them, but we'll see. 601.94 is that score to beat. We'll see. Nothing, can't say, never say never. We will see by open or like by morning time, right? But if not, we gap down and we hold kind of like Thursday's lows, Wednesday's lows, and we don't break those, we're just going to shoot right back up. And that's calls all day for the gap fill right back up. So one thing I will be doing, and here's a little bit of a trick, I'm going to be looking for strength across the market. Who's strong? As SPY and Q are trying to do that, who's already trying to go green, who's already running it up, and that's probably the name we're going to be pressing. Or if anything's exploding up or down, that's how I catch these awesome moves. RioCap AI also helps with alerting those explosive moves for SPY, QQ, or IWM. It's beautiful. So good stuff. Anyways, I think everything's posted. All game plans are posted. RioCap members, got everything, and we should be good to go. So I'm excited for this week, as you should when you've been nonstop winning. So I'm excited to kind of keep giving y'all plays and, reviewing more and posting content for y'all. And, of course, winning as always and making money. That's it. That's what I love, making money trading. That's number one to me for sure. So game plans are set. Everything's set. Let me know if y'all need anything. WAP.com/Rio Capital if you want my trades, become part of the team. Get my RioCap AI, get access to my charts, get access to chat, anything y'all need, I got you guys. So, and if you want futures too, future alerts by RioCap AI calls it out during New York session, right? As well as overnight as well. It already called out overnight play here, so right at open for futures. And anyways, it's pretty good stuff. So if you want to give it a try out, go for it. You can use code April right now at sign up. So don't miss out. Quit messing around. We are on a generational run right now, and we are having fun while doing it. So keep an eye. And if you're not part of the team, keep watching the RioCap series King of the Open on YouTube to see, my daily updates. What's going to happen? Am I going to blow up? Am I going to blow up the port? Am I going to keep winning? What's happening? The daily fight is a daily fight, right? I'm fighting daily to keep winning. And you can see like a lot of those videos, sure, I banged heavily on, some swings that really, grew the port. But, what really grows the port is consistency, that 5%, 3%, 10%, 7%, 8% a day, just stacking the wins. And then when I show my weekly, just like a stair stepper up. That's honestly the best way that I personally have found that growing your portfolio. The stair steppers, meaning you're not holding things extremely long. You're waiting for the entry confirmation. You're getting in. It's working in your favor. You're cashing out and you're growing your portfolio that way. That's literally probably the best way I say that you can really do it. I'm telling you. I honestly believe so. So, give it a try. If that's kind of your style. I don't know how y'all be doing things, but I know how I be doing things. So that's how I do it. That's what works for me. So maybe you can take that and run with it as well. Or maybe it's not for you and, you try other things. It's all right. It's all good. It's all right. But good stuff. Anyways, like I said, use code April right now. Get signed up, WAP.com/Rio Capital. Get out there. Or if you want to learn more about RioCap, RioCap.com. Learn more. Because the more you learn, the more you earn. So we're good to go. I'm watching things. We'll see what SPY and QQ do here. I'm going to let things kind of more set up. We have some good setups, but kind of let things more set up going into, Monday. And then tomorrow when I stream, I think that's going to be a very important stream session to find some of these really good setups. Then we'll start the week off really going off that way. Looking for, other continuation setups or kind of how things went from Monday, assess the situation, but no doubt in my mind, we're winning Monday on some of these setups and, go from there. Trust the RioCap zones. If anything, of course, know where we're at in the market, RioCap zones. You can get my zones. They're posted every single night in the channel. So if you want access, wap.com/RioCap, get out there. All right. Appreciate y'all showing up, guys. Have a good rest of y'all's night. Happy Sunday. It's a fresh new week, fresh new money. Let's make that money. So